Welcome to Prodigy Sportive Adaptations. P.S.A. podcast is an unconventional podcast that challenges the audience to think outside the box using real-life experiences, clever narratives, original quotes, and the creative use of satire in order to break the audience free from negative paradigms and push them towards their own personal growth. This is by no means a method to condemn or bash the audience, but instead encourage and showcase a different perspective that might not have been seen before. P.S.A. is designed to showcase to the listeners that the power of the mind is not a joke, and if a person can learn to control their mind and their thoughts, they will ultimately control their life. This podcast serves as a means of entertainment and educational purposes only, and not a replacement for therapy or any other type of professional help that the audience may desire. Y'all, I'm back again. Can you believe, including this episode, it's only 4 episodes left. That's right, 4 episodes left. Can you believe that? This season been crazy. It's been good though, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know a little early, a little secret. 2022. First of all, my mind is already in 2022. But I'm telling you now, expect bigger and better. I'm going to just say this for PSA Season 6. Just say new and improved. Just say new and improved. This season, the theme was the blueprint, which we've seen that. But next season, be prepared for that theme. It's going to be a good one, all right? So, obviously, I'm by myself, but I still have a great episode with a great message, all right? So, today's episode is titled, If You Do This, You a sellout. The meme reads, you're only a sellout when you go against your belief for fame, money, or power. Okay? Inspiration comes from just a lot of terms that I've heard, things that I've been called that I'm going to break down this episode as interesting. And Kanye West, his interview on Drunken Champs, is his name of it? Drink Champs. Drink Champs. Yeah, I'm talking about some Drunken Champs. Drinking Champs. That mug was 2 hours and 24 minutes and like 16 seconds of pure gold. If you haven't watched it, you're slacking. You're a slacker. Go check it out. It was great. What else? And also, a quote by Billy Watterson. He says, selling out is usually more of a matter of buying in. Sell out and you're really buying into someone else's system of values, rules, and rewards. All right. Okay. So today's story time is more of like I've done this before. It's not a full story. Like I'm not going to read off nothing. It's more of just a scenario. Okay. So I call this scenario Greg and his clear wife. So say for instance, you have a person of African American descent or Jamaican descent, a black person. I'm not even going to be complicated. And this black person grows up in an area that's predominantly white, and he's teased and he's made fun of for being the white black guy. He's called an Oreo. He's called all these different things, right? And maybe subconsciously he developed a dislike for his own race. Say this guy meets a girl. We'll call her Samantha. Samantha is a woman. And I feel like for those people, the Caucasians that watch that, they going to be like, oh, that's what that mean. Because I think I be doing it and they don't be catching. I don't do it in front of them, but they don't be catching when I be like. But, so he meets his wife, Samantha, and she's Caucasian, and they fall in love, and they get married, have babies. His ancestry, his race, his culture would deem him as a sellout. All right, and that's the end of the scenario. So the lessons from this scenario is that, he subconsciously stopped liking his race, but was that his fault? I say no. Then he was called a sellout, but did he really sell out? I'll say he didn't sell out, because my personal definition of a sellout, which is going to be challenged today, is a person who literally goes against their beliefs and morals. And if he maybe in the past when he was a kid, which we have no evidence of that in the text. I sound like a teacher for real. But we have no evidence of that in the text to really dissect. So in this case, how is he a sellout? Because maybe this is all he's ever liked. And it maybe was hard for him to like his race because the black girls were mean to him. And kind of like you subconsciously made him not like black girls. So is he a sellout for that? I like to challenge that. And then the last really question, but it's a part of the lesson. Was it his fault? I want y'all to answer that, and when y'all discussing this episode and talking to your friends, I want y'all to, discuss that, because I want to see what y'all think. All right. So as always, I got a definition, but this definition, it has multiple definitions. So the first part of the definition sellout says the selling of an entire stock of something, especially tickets for an entertainment or sports event. Then it says anyone who sacrifices artistic integrity in an effort to become more successful or popular, generally in music, someone who forgets their roots. So in this case, that one came from Urban Dictionary. And if you take it back to the scenario, which I'm going to touch back on again, in some instances you can say, oh, he a sellout because he forgot his roots, but that's debatable. All right. So let's move into favorite QT&A questions that need addressing. All right. So the first question is, do you think when a person dates outside of their race, they are a sellout? Technically, no. But by some definitions of a sellout, is someone who goes against their roots. But what if this black person, and we only saying from a black point of view because I'm black, but what if this black person has Caucasian, Hispanic, or Asian in their family? Are you really selling out? Because if you're saying you're going against your roots, yeah, you black, and by the typical definition of black, you are, black. Like, they say you got a quarter black in you, black. That's why we got people like, what's the girl name? Baby Tay. Is that her name? That ain't her name. Whoa, Vicky. Them type of people, they probably got like, they great uncle was half black. So they be like, oh, I'm black. And that's why, I don't know. The second question, do you think people sell out to the devil? Yes. The third question, what does this have to do with mental health? So obviously with mental health, it can wage a war on you because honestly, the whole sellout term is subjective. In some cases it's clear as day. You sold your soul to the devil. People do that in real lifestyle. Y'all be like, oh, they don't exist. Okay. You see it in movies, that's what they did in Hercules. That's what Hercules did to Hades in the Disney classic film. That's what Ariel did when she got some legs. She bought some human parts. That means that thing, Ursula, she was doing some what's it called with the people in the legs and they be having harvesting organs because she gave us some legs. Where'd she get some legs from? She had them in her treasure chest just waiting to get to her because she knew she was going to sign off on the deal. She was harvesting organs. She was harvesting body parts. What if Ariel would have said, I needed a new heart? She would have popped up with a new heart. Think about that. Because I thought about it. But seriously, on one end, it's like it can be damaging if you really didn't sell out, but you're considered a sellout and told you're a sellout, which as this episode goes along, we definitely going to hit both parts, both sides of the ball. So, according to what it means to be called a sellout by Scott Cameron, it says, what do Barack Obama, Condoleezza Rice, Bill Cosby, Oprah, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan all have in common? It says at some point they've all been labeled as a sellout to their race. Wow. Another person who knows what it's like to be called a sellout is Randall Kennedy, and he takes up the topic in his latest book, Sellout, The Politics of Racial Betrayal. A sellout is a person who betrays something in which she is said to owe allegiance. When used in racial context among African Americans, sellout is a disparaging term that refers to black people who knowingly or with gross negligence act against the interests of blacks as a whole. Stacey Dash, that ain't even a question. When you forget who you are, that's definitely selling out. But unfortunately, people gonna get called sellouts when, especially in the way the world is now, if, say, for instance, a black person is loud and wrong, I feel like we as a society should just agree with them. And then say, for instance, the white person is quiet and right, or the Asian or the Hispanic or the Native American or the Islander, whatever, Samoan, whatever. We'll say they're wrong. We'll say and I say they right. They're going to say, oh, you a sellout. You're going to get your own race. But I'm not the person that's going to just stand in agreement with somebody just because my skin tone, my family member. I am totally against, 100% against blind loyalty. I don't believe that logic because to me, when you do that, you're pushing the narrative that this person is always right. And in some cases, and blind loyalty is a conversation for another day, but I feel like it just opens up too many doors of just like, oh, well, that's my friend, so this is my people, they black, so I'm gonna stand beside them. And I get that to an extent, but it's really subjective because y'all be standing beside people who be doing some of the wildest stuff and being like they black. Would you be okay with somebody robbing somebody if it was somebody you knew? But no, it's okay because it's a white person, so they deserve to get robbed. It's like, it's not okay. Or people pick and choose what groups of people they want to hate. Like, oh, I hate them, but I don't hate them. Don't talk about them, but I still hate this group. Well, you can't really do that. But y'all ain't hearing me. So let's flip the narrative. So this is, from John Acuff. It says that if you're called a sellout, do this. Okay. It says, if someone ever calls you a sellout for making money for your dream, ask them how long they've been refusing a paycheck at work. Ask them if every 2 weeks they march into HR and hand back their salary. Ask them if they cancel their direct deposit because being financially compensated cheapened their job somehow. Ask them if they refused their raise that year. Ask them if they blocked their bonus like an angry Matumbo. Matumbo is an elephant. Ask them if they turned a cold shoulder to an unexpected sales commission in the hope of keeping their craft pure. Or just ignore them altogether and get back to doing the work you care about. Your choice, really, and respectfully, I added that. Getting paid for your art means you get to make art, all right? Sellout is a compliment. So in this instance, it's kind of flipping the narrative and saying stuff like, oh, say, people dry hating at that point. If somebody be like, oh, you a sellout, oh, I'm mad at you because you left me at this job, or you left me, your stuff outselling mine, or, say for instance, you got a friend, and this is a selfish friend. That's why you need to, this year, show you who your people is. I haven't had this happen, but I've seen about it before. Say for instance, you and a friend start a business at the same time, and y'all come up with this little pact where you say, hey, I don't say Matumbo, I'm drunk. A Johnny B. I don't know why that name. But a Johnny B, you doing this, I'm doing that. We're going to work our jobs. And then if, say, for instance, you get a job or I get it, or I can quit my job first. We going to wait till the other person can quit their job so we can do it at the same time. Say you don't honor that pact, right? And they say you a sellout. First of all, that's a terrible friend to see you get on and they'll say, wait for me. As a friend, you should be clapping for your friend's success. You should be excited. So if you hang with anybody who will get mad at you because you leveled up before they did, that ain't your friend. And that's something to pay attention to. I hate seeing so many people leveling up or people getting called sellouts because they doing something that they love. Now, of course, if that means you're selling out by literally selling your soul or doing something that Because selling your soul is not always the literal, open the jar and your soul gets sucked in, or you lose your voice like Ariel. You trying to sing, but you ain't got the voice because the witch who took your voice now using your voice to try to block your blessing. See, stay away from witches that sell body parts. But seriously, if you are on the page of anywhere of growth in any way, shape, or form, you on that new level, you going up. Like I said, this year has been the year of the increase, this year of the rise, but it's also the year of the shed. The shedding means that things come down, come up, go away, depart from you. Kind of like a dog shedding his hair. It's like it falls off. The hair that fell off can't get put back on. So the hair is gone for eternity. But of course, you're going to grow more. And of course, in your case, you'll get more your replacement for that, whatever it was, but it can't come back. Again, stay away from them type of people. And I'm a firm believer with the whole sellout thing. Like, or say, for instance, you get on. This the best one. Say, for instance, you make it out the hood. Y'all people got a fetish with the hood. I don't understand what that weird stuff is. And people be idolizing, men be idolizing other men that's from the hood or pretend to be and talk about all the guns they got. But then you had the opportunity to shoot somebody and your hand was shaking. But you do target practice. That's what your caption on Instagram say. But anyway, the point that I'm making is you make it out the hood. I instantly thought of the movie The Cookout. And then it's always that one person that come out of nowhere and be like, dang, look at you. You ain't put me on. You ain't give me that. Now, that's a slippery slope because I'm always going to put people on, but then I always go back to my favorite phrase, everybody can't go. You can't put everybody on because at the end of the day, when you putting somebody on, that's a representation of you in a sense. And you can't tarnish your brand putting people on for stuff, or maybe where y'all grew up or where you at in life, y'all grew apart. You have different business ventures. You may be on something with a spiritual journey and your friend over here selling sex toys, that y'all not on the same page. So it's just not going to work. You know what I mean? Or maybe even something that's more, not saying that ain't common because it's common too, but more common. Say, for instance, you and your friend, you would start off like this, but you end up becoming a down hard vegan, right? And this person is selling fried Texas State Fair foods. You can't align. That business does not align with your stuff because that's not you. You don't do that no more. You don't eat that stuff no more. So it ain't going to work. Maybe y'all can do a collab to where you selling your favorites Texas Fair foods in vegan form, but y'all still can't work together all the time because a person who really vegan, your target audience for a vegan is not going to want to eat. Some people who are vegan don't eat at any place who has meat on the same grill. So you get what I'm saying, or anything that's not vegan products. So you get what I'm saying. That's the kind of thing. That leads into the next segment where I'm kind of naming some scenarios where people sell out. So obviously the whole black and white thing. So, okay, growing up, putting myself on blast, there's been a few times in my life where I have been referred to as an Oreo. The black white guy or the white black guy. And I've heard it before. I've heard it in some cases from white people, and I've heard it from, niggas. And for me, it was like, it didn't affect as far as like the type of women that I like, but in the same breath, what if it did? Could I really be called a sellout for that? I just don't feel that I can because y'all sat up here and teased and mocked and criticized me and shamed me. Now all of a sudden, I did what you said to do. Now you mad. It's kind of like, which leads to the next debate. When y'all sat up here and cried for this vaccine, y'all cried, wolf, we need a vaccine, holding up signs and pitchforks. You got it. It's too early. Make it make sense. Y'all selling out y'all people trying to force this vaccine. Again, I'm not going to say I am, and I'm not going to say that I am against it or for it. And I'm going to refer to it as the jab. If you know, you know. But with taking the jab, my thing is, if you had a change of heart to get it or not to get it, that's fine. But I know some people who literally have said, like, you stupid for getting the vaccine and snuck to go get it and pretended like they didn't have it. Ain't that crazy? Or the people who, you know, and that's the thing too. If you have a genuine change of heart, then that's you had a change of heart. But people who sat up here and got, you know, who sat up here and will, like the Faucis, I'm going to call them out. Because even if you take this new, you know, plague that's going on, let's look at AIDS. The exact same thing he did with AIDS, he doing now. And he sold all them people out and just to get money and was doing science experiments and killing people. It's the same thing. That's a sellout. You get what I'm saying? People do anything for money. Stay away from anybody that do anything for some money, because they will do anything for some money. They will sell your big toe for some money. If they find out your big toe could get them $5 million, they're going to drug you, put you to sleep and with something, and then cut your toe off and explain it later. And they may give you $100 for your big toe that they sacrificed. But the point is, that's an example. But people stay away from them people, because them greedy and money hungry people will sacrifice you. They will do whatever for some money. And they some real sellouts. Let's talk about sugar babies. Are they selling out? Now, in some cases, some people, women and then some men, are selling out their bodies and their time for money, attention, whatever. Now, are they really selling out if this is what they enjoy doing? Or are they a sellout if it's like, I hate doing this, but I'm doing this for this? Something to think about. You sell out your spiritual life. You know, you got you going, doing all this, and then all of a sudden you literally, you know, sell your soul, or you do some stuff that you ain't supposed to be doing. It's one thing if you struggle with something, but it's one thing, another thing if you blatantly giving up something. And I ain't gonna spend too much time on that. You know, but it's a good sellout. You selling your products. Look for belligerent tees. November 28th, we got new colors coming soon at the pop-up shop in Houston. I will put the location is on my Instagram. Make sure y'all pop up, come get you a new color. And that's Black Sunday. All right. This basically is not Black Friday. It's the Sunday of Black Friday. So pull up. We there from 1 to 5. Doing things you wouldn't normally do to get something you want or need. All right. And again, that's something you got to stay away from people like that. Always, always, always. Because you just never they're capable of anything. And if you that type of person, stay away from me. Now, some of these things come from, now this section is still a part of the selling out scenarios, but this comes from Joanna Summer. And what does it mean to be a sellout in 2020? All right. So it says take, for example, how influencers and celebrities alike have continued to promote and increase fast fashion. According to the Fashion Retail Academy, 54% of people believe influencers have at least partially caused an increase in fast fashion, including 73% of those in the 18 to 24 age range. In 2019, the mega fast fashion brand Fashion Nova spent more than $40 million on influencer marketing. This same brand was the subject of controversy at the end of 2019 when the New York Times published a report on illegally underpaid factory workers and stolen clothing designs from the likes of Versace and Kim Kardashian, as well as other damning information. And yet the incentive to become a Nova babe causes information to be overlooked and their sales keep increasing. Here's the thing. When you selling out, some people don't care about being a sellout. and we see that with Fashion Nova. They getting that bread. They don't care. They literally are copying designs from these high-end people, you know. And that's the thing. Have you noticed with that, some of those brands, they like to have the same shoes as Yeezys, but they not Yeezys. They Peasies. You better not let me see you with no Peasies on. I'm finna light you up. Because why you got them on? Just don't wear none. No settle for the fakes. But seriously, I think that's interesting. Like I said, they stole stuff from Kim Kardashian and Versace, which I could believe. And it's funny how that news got exposed and people still don't care. That's why the whole term sellout is subjective, because I just feel like some people don't care about being a sellout. And some people don't care that you a sellout, because as it just stated, Nova babes is still on the rise. People still want to be a Nova babe. They want to be a Fashion Nova brand wearer. Influencer, because it opens the door for them. It then says, in terms of selling music, the debate of selling out began to dissolve in 1999 with the rise of Napster, a first of its kind internet software that allowed users to share audio files or songs as MP3s. Artists began to need economic assistance for their efforts with the decline of album sales, a dilemma that's only increased with the popularization of streaming services. When I think of Napster, what was that thing on the Proud Family? With that man, and he jumped in Penny room and he was having her download music illegally. What was his name?
That nigga name, Al Roker?
No, not Al Roker. I can't think of his name, but it was a character on there. He had like the locks. He had some black shades on. He had like a black jacket, and he was like her age, and he was like teaching her how to download music or something illegally. And I think about...
It was 15 cents, wasn't it?
No, see, that's too far. I think about Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey was a voice on the Proud Family. I remember when he was the voice of that credit card. And he was like, you gonna shop till you drop. But anyway, the point that I'm making is this. Some people can be considered a sellout, especially in music, because if you're doing something that goes against, like say for instance, I'm gonna keep saying black because I'm black. If you are a black person and a black artist and you selling, and I know it's popular and it's a little controversial, but you're selling the narrative of the black gangster. You in videos pointing guns in the cameras. The youth and people that you created an aesthetic now. Again, the fetishization of being from the hood. So now you done created this and you basically making it seem like this is okay, but you're constantly pushing that narrative of being from the hood and killing. And if you're from the hood, I'm not knocking people from the hood because that's where you're from. But that don't mean you have to continue living like that, trying to shoot guns, trying to kill people, rob and steal. And a lot of y'all are not from the hood, but y'all want to perpetuate that narrative because that's what's shown and that's what looks cool. So, in a sense, those artists are sellouts and you are a sellout. Y'all remember in the Cheetah Girls. Remember when the first Cheetah Girls, they did that song. And after the song, Jackal Johnson, the record producer, he was like, him and the team, they was like, we want y'all to be global get down. So they said, we want y'all to change our name. And then remember that song, we go all around the world. We go all around the world. And Raven was like, this is not us. But I was laughing because my homeboy Darion said, this how niggas sell out in the studio. They be like, oh, that song was good, but we think this will be better for you. And now they just sold out. To anybody creating stuff, be authentic, be original, be yourself. Don't take a job just because it pays a lot if it's not what you believe in. Again, I'm not gonna this is not the COVID episode, but it is. I will speak on the jab. There are people who were seeing things behind the scenes, scientists and things, who are not coming out saying like why it's not the best thing and why they had to leave this organization. Don't be afraid to walk away from something or somebody just because it's making a lot of money or because it looks good, when in reality, you know for a fact this is not what you want. This is not what's right. Because that conviction is real. And eventually you can't keep doing stuff that's going to go against your morals. Eventually it's going to catch up and you're going to feel it. So just keep that in the back of your head whenever you're doing stuff that you know. Yeah. And speaking of people getting slid extra songs and stuff, I instantly think about Iggy Azalea because I remember she was signed to T.I. label at one point, if she still is.
I think she still is.
She might be. And I was laughing because the same person who said the thing about the Cheetah Girl said the same thing about her. T.I. probably be sliding her lines like, let her write. She probably thinks she killing it. Like, okay, that was good, but we looking for excellent. And while we talking about record labels, I got to switch the narrative of the conversation because as you saw in a clip used this week, Kanye West, Drink Champs, his comment about Big Sean. I don't know either of these people personally. We've only heard one side. But based on Kanye's logic and based on what I feel a sellout is, you are a sellout because Kanye said even if you didn't agree with me, you could have kept your comments to yourself. It makes me think about the episode I did with EJ, 3 weeks ago, when she talked about Garcelle giving that comment on Ari and her and Moneybagg Yo. I get you have your right to your opinion, but it's certain things you could have kept to yourself. Especially when you're older, when it's the diverse ages with the other one, but especially in this case with Kanye put you on. And I feel like I get you don't agree with it and you really, caught up in the whole political thing. Sorry to hear. But that to me was just too, like, I get it and you didn't agree with him running. But if you know Kanye, even though he be serious, sometimes he just be talking. He be meaning, but I just feel like you should be like, the fact that you commented on it, you have the right to your opinion, but it's just like at the same time, it's the person that put you on. But then somebody could say maybe Big Sean felt like he's going against my personal beliefs. Maybe he really is, like I said, really into that politics stuff. I don't know. That's a good conversation, though. That's another thing I want to bring up. But it's definitely interesting as I'm closing out. It's definitely an interesting one. Moving on to my tip scenarios for my college students. Remember, y'all, it's one thing if you change your mind, but don't throw people under the bus or sell out your friends for organizations or, go for more than one organization at a time. And then when you get caught, I accepted this one because this one told me no. Because again, it's one thing if you change your mind, but it all comes out. Or change the position you was running for, or go for this girl as a backup because the other girl told you no. People be doing stuff like that. So keep that in the back of your mind because all that type of stuff really does come out. In and off with the question and challenge for this week, I want you to, ask yourself, or, I'm asking you, have you ever sold out? What do you consider a sellout? Again, as I stated, it said the title of this episode is if you do this, you're a sellout. You are a sellout if you go against your family, your friends. Again, it's one thing if you don't agree with them, but you go against or you expose or put something or you sell out somebody for some money or go against your roots, everything you stand for and believe in for something else. Sometimes y'all have these legit excuses, but it still be like, dang, why you do that? And I'm trying to think of a great scenario when that happened. I'm like, dang, I mean, it is a sellout, but I get you did it because it was like, but then at the same time, you still selling out to make money. It's just, I don't know.
They say Jay-Z, that's what they first, the NFL did.
Yeah.
They at first said that he was selling out until he actually had time to
explain.
Well, to work it out.
Yeah.
And then people started to see that it was really, what his plan was. They thought he was a sellout though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I get it, and everything is just like sometimes let me explain, but sometimes y'all really do be selling y'all people out, and that's not cool. But that's pretty much it. All right, y'all. So this episode is wrapped. Counting down 3 episodes left of 2021. I'm gonna be opening a poll soon to ask any topics, anything you want to discuss for next season. P.S.A. signing out. Keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are and make your mind up. Don't let it make you.